Hello.
Hi. I have a question. Did you do the bounce backs and stuff today? Or okay, so I'm picking that up starting this week. Okay, cool.
Hopefully.
Hey.
eh, Okay, the one I sent earlier was actually more like just the random studies that has bounce backs in them. But the panel was the one that was sent by Ariel, I think, because I really don't know how to extract those detailed reports from the panel.
Did I miss one? I Oh, the pink part Ariel did?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Um, so I don't really know. Like, I feel like we've got a lot of good information, but I don't know where we're at. um,
And also based on the results that we
you're
have.
muted, Joni. I just realized that.
Oh, sorry. And also based on the reports that we have, there were several SMT codes, right? And then I just made a summary of those codes. But some of them are actually the one that you mentioned last time, the policy violations, the server errors. Those are too vague, and we cannot actually drill down which one is which is actually causing. That would depend on the email platform that we're using, right? So there, each platform will have different policies that they have, so that would differ.
That makes sense. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I feel like bounce backs seem a little messy right now because it's like, do we need to start pulling them per project and like deciding what codes that we're going to get rid of and then pulling those people? I don't really know what direction we want to go in with this because like it didn't seem like Spark Post really gave us an answer on what bounce backs we're pulling.
Right? I thought if we're gonna ask them, they're gonna provide us with our answer, but that actually give us more questions instead.
um, I don't know what we want to do. What
Right. The one that I made actually is more like just a summary of what we could probably do, but that still is too, or like, right? I'm
Well,
not
I
sure.
feel like this is really, really good. I just don't know, like the summary that you made. I feel like it's awesome, and it'll help us keep our emails clean. But it was like Ariel was saying, do we these like people that constantly like we sent out 11 messages to them in one day, like trying to get their to the quota full, like their email boxes were full. We kept trying. The system kept trying and trying and trying. Do we want to even keep them in our like panel in our sample, like, but if we can only pull them per campaign, like, does that mean each product support person is going to be in charge of doing that? Or because that would be a lot for the person pulling D&Es and bounce backs to go to every single project and then decide what to keep and not to keep.
Yes, I think so, right? So I think each study will have, or like, they will keep track of those bounce backs because that will only be true for that particular study.
Gotcha.
So it is that, well, that was just our recommendation. So I think that would
Yeah, I don't know.
be.
I don't know if we want to all decide as a group or if we want to bring it back to the L10 and then everybody decide on it.
Yeah, I think so, right? Because we can just tell them that this is what we come up, and then probably they can help us decide on what path we can proceed.
Okay. That works for me if you're okay with that. And I know you're trying to finish up your rock, so I felt bad that I didn't come with a lot of like I see how it works, but I don't know. So
what is the plan that we're going back with?
I guess basically asking, or I'm trying to think of how to put it in words. The plan we want to go back with is each person on their, like, we'll have to look at their projects and decide which bounce backs to pull out of their sample. Like, we should probably come up with a list. Like, if it's this, this, or this, then you should pull it and not use that sampling, because they're not coming back in our hard bounces. It doesn't seem like, at least for Spark Post. I don't know about Tailored Mail and Foresta and
Yeah, because it will have the same problem as what we have with V right now. There's a study that she had that there was actually where like um it was supposed to be a good list, but once she tried to clean it up, a lot of good emails were actually taken out. So that might pose a problem if we keep doing that in all studies. So we need to be more like for this particular study only. Yeah.
unless we decide to, I feel like we have two options. Either we have to pull these people out of each specific project until like they're either out of the panel, out of all this stuff, or we find a better bounce, like a cleaning service, but I don't know if we're going to find that.
Yeah.
What about, so if we're looking at her project, would it be beneficial to potentially flag people who are highly likely to bounce?
Did you say likely or unlikely? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Likely.
Okay.
I think that would be easier to track, but like the ones that have the mailboxes full and those types of things, would we benefit from potentially tracking that as a variable and avoiding sending those to begin with, to where we're kind of cleaning it up, where we have sample that is still potentially viable, but we don't want it to harm us at the beginning?
That makes sense. Like for the panel, I can see that absolutely, and for Foresta and stuff, because I mean, most of the people we pull for Foresta are from our panel, but for that, I can see it working. I don't know how we do that with Spark Post, because usually it's client sample, so we don't really know what it's going to look like. So we might have more work on the back end for that one. But I don't really have a whole lot of Spark Post campaigns anymore, so I don't know if that's a big issue. Joni, did you forward that email that you forwarded me from Spark Post to everybody, or just?
Yeah, just.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Oh no! It was just you. So.
Oh, okay. Because the ticket guy said that our Spark Post stuff was like, we were doing so great, and I was like, he sounded like everything was awesome, and I'm just, so that kind of threw me off of like, okay, I know bounce backs are an issue, but maybe like, I know the PMs sometimes make things a bigger deal than they are. But yeah, that's one thing I mentioned. He was like, you guys are doing great for your spam, like, but I don't know. But yeah, I think that would be an awesome idea, Trista, like doing like a flag.
How would we track that? Would it, so what would I don't know what the process really looks like per project, or how we would be identifying them.
Well, we don't have one. That's the problem. Right now, only Joni pulls bounce backs. So we would probably per project have to. Would it be a DB maintenance thing, or would it be on the support to pass it over to the DB team? And say, this is like at the end of the project or the beginning, they like, I don't know.
I think it depends on where it's done or how it's done. Because it doesn't have to be per project. If it's just something we do periodically, it could be a database maintenance. But if we want to do it per project, when we look at them all, it could be updated like that. I think for updating, it should be more maintenance because it doesn't need to be something that's done in the moment. It could be something that's done periodically.
That makes sense.
But when pulling the bounces, that could just be an extra step of it to potentially flag those for maintenance to make it a little bit easier to where everything doesn't have to be pulled again. So I'm not 100% sure what that looks like since I haven't actually done the bounce backs yet. Today was the first day I haven't gotten to it yet. So, yeah. But I would think it would be a maintenance task.
Okay. But what about the bounces that aren't included in that bounce back pull?
Okay, so I guess it would be whoever does it could just pull them at that point too. Because each day it's only for the previous days, not the whole time.
No, I think maybe I'm not making sense, or maybe I'm not understanding you. So when we pull bounce backs, we're not getting all of the people for some reason. And we can't get Sparkpost to answer why. So when you do that initial bounce back, like for however many days, like we could flag those, but then to get the ones that we're not getting in that poll, we'd have to go in per project. Or at least that's the way Joni showed it to us. And then decide which of those people we're keeping or not keep, like, or flagging or whatever we're gonna do with them.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I guess we could just skip that step. I don't know. Bounce backs make my head hurt.
Same. When I started it, I actually thought it's gonna be easy, but then as time goes by, oh my god, it really hurts. Like,
It's like a never-ending rabbit hole that we can't get out.
true.
But I see the point. Like last year, we had a whole big thing back and forth with the PMs about bounce backs because like there's this email checker thing that goes in and it opens up all the emails, and so you'll see like 100. It happens a lot in forward studies. 100 partials on the study, or you'll get 30 all at once, and then we keep contacting them, and the PMs are like, well, why aren't they completing? Well, because it's a robot checking the email. And then I've seen them like come in through our panel. So my thought process is like, we either flag them, like you said, and keep them, or we decide, well, none of these people are ever opening their emails. They're just constantly getting checked by a robot, and then wherever they go, so we get rid of it. Like, but it's going to probably be like a lot of manual work for us to figure out who's who.
Yeah.
Which we could put, maybe that's the long-term issue that comes out of the rock Joni's finishing up. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that it necessarily has to be something we start now, because I feel like there is a lot of unknowns. And especially once I start pulling the bounce backs, I could probably come up with an idea, like keeping it in mind of how to go about that.
So for now,
Okay, so yeah, where are we going from here?
Okay, so what do we do with these? I guess Joni can share his documents.
right? That's the only thing I can do for now. I think. Then probably we can tell them that there may this the plans that we have probably that can branch out from this one.
So, as I was pulling that bounce back reasons from the panel, there are like reasons that's out of our control, like the mail that are full, so that's out of our control, so we can do anything about it. So, what if for now, I don't know if this plan is like a realistic one. But what if for now we're gonna flag those people that the bound reasons for them are like out of our control, like those mailbox are full, so we're not gonna send them email for now. We can't do anything about for them. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
and those are the ones I was thinking would be the ones that would be flagged for us to keep, but use as a last resort, because if their mailbox is full at that time, like after so long, it might not be anymore. And then we just have to figure a way to track those. But having that flag would work for the panel side.
So what if we did that for the panel side, and then for I don't even know about tailored mail. I know that's still a big mess that we're trying to figure out as well. But for Spark Post, whoever's support on the study can go in, because it shouldn't be that much, and we should be looking at our studies regardless to see how the deliverability is doing. We can go in and look at the list, and like anybody that's like the mailbox full or any of these ones that we decide on, we can go in and either, I don't know if the best bet would be to add them to the bounce back sheet and just say we're not going to email them anymore since it's client sample, or if we just maybe take them out of the holy file and just move them to another sheet and say, okay, like this is last resort sample, that if we need to try again later, like we have it.
Yeah, the second option would probably be the best option.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then but how would we decide fully, like, I'm thinking of projects like Forward Group where they send us the same sample over and over and over again. So if you set it aside and you use it for later, but it's the same people, like, I don't know, I almost feel like I'm getting too much into another tracker system. Do we put these like on the watch list tracker and say, okay, these people have bounced this many times, or, but that's gonna make the sheet too big, so I don't know. I guess we could try it, like just moving it, and then if they get if it gets better, then we know that it's working and we don't need to do anything extra. And if it stays the same or gets worse, then we can figure out another plan.
Yeah, probably that's what we can do for now. We can probably test that one and see if it goes well. Then, if it doesn't, then we may need to figure out something else.
Okay.
Would you
What else do we
would you
to
like that
figure
to
out?
be to put into writing also, and then add this to the documentation and see and present it to the group tomorrow?
How do you feel about that idea, Trista? Are you good with that? With the do we want to move forward with that plan, or do we want to present it to the team and see if that's what they want to? That's what we should do.
I think presenting it would probably be best. That way we can get other opinions if anyone has them, and then fully make a decision there of what we're gonna do.
Okay. Does anybody specifically want to write that issue up? I don't care if it's me or it doesn't matter to me.
I honestly don't feel like I have good enough of an understanding of it at this point to take the lead on it.
Okay. So am I just doing the Spark post suggestion, or do you want me to include flagging everybody in the panel? Or are you going to start doing that anyways since you're taking over those?
I would throw it in as a suggestion because there might be other things I'm not thinking about with that as well that come up. And I still don't fully know what that looks like.
That's fair. And I never did any, when I did bounce back, before I trained only on bounce backs, the only bounce backs I was taking care of was Spark Post. So I have no idea what that looks like either. But I feel like this will bring us somewhere new with bounce backs that we haven't been yet, that is going to lead us somewhere positive. So okay. So yeah, then Joni, you wouldn't need to add that to your documentation because we're just going to make the issue. And then does that wrap up your rock then? Was that all we needed?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna put this one to my rock, and then the ones that gets decided tomorrow
Or whatever.
yeah, we can probably that it's just an issue, right?
Yeah, because when we figure it out, the documentation can always be updated later.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we miss anything?
No,
Okay.
I think we're good for now. Well, thanks for doing that because I was actually I didn't know what to do. So thanks, guys.
No problem.
Hopefully to see you again tomorrow, right? So this is for now. Thanks, guys.
No problem.